So, what's today? December 2nd? This will be my third day. I didn't hunt yesterday. It's not quite as a little before noonish. I didn't go out this morning because, quite frankly, it was windy AF, and I knew the wind was going to shift according to one of the apps that I use, Hunt Stand. I didn't go yesterday because I had a tattoo appointment. Got Cad Bane on the owie bit underneath Boba, which was a fitting place. He turned out real cool. Had some issues with Sabine. God, I haven't recorded anything in quite a while. I've been busy. And I seem to feel or recall that I record because I need some kind of feedback or some kind of interaction. I crave interaction, but I don't know. I guess if I would have had a hunting partner or more structure. I don't mind hunting public land. I enjoy hunting public land because the land, I understand the land, I know what it does. But honestly, my anxiety just fucking cranks with the idea of other people being in the woods. And it's not a safety thing. It's more of a, I don't want to burden anybody else. I don't want to bust anybody else's hunt. Now, Friday morning, I got out. I got out before, I got an hour and a half head start of the sun. I mean, I was in my tree, and I went to the small woods because I saw a couple trucks over on the one side, and to me, when I park there, I go certain places. But so I posted up in the small woods, watched the field, and I saw a decent buck walking through the field, and by the time I looked down and grabbed my binoculars, I had zero shot at him. I thought about calling to him, but it just weird time of year. I mean, I could have, but I was more interested in just watching his actions than I was trying to get him to come in. Just seeing where he naturally flowed to, because that area was kind of is a mystery to me. I don't know when they use it or where they're coming from and or going to. I've seen them going into and out of there, but once they're there, it's kind of... Anyway. By the time I looked up, the parallax, he was walking, and my brain marked where he was supposed to be. I looked up, and he didn't come out behind that tree, or that group of trees, so he was either coming toward me or going away from me. So, that was pretty tense. A good tense. And then 15 minutes later, I saw two doe in the field, probably 200 yards from where he was, on the southern side of the field, walking about funneling to the same point he was. So then I saw some hunters walking around, whatever. But I didn't see that many for public land. I did not see as many as you would think on public land during gun season in Ohio. I saw 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 or 6 people, and I'm in a busy area. Like a walkway. And when I talk about, I see hunters, I saw orange at least, and I can see a large swath of the land of the area. And I'm pretty sure that a couple of the groups that I saw were the same couple people, and that's included in my count. I saw one dude just kind of stalking around, old fella, big old white ass beard. But for the most part, it was relatively. I saw one guy walk in. He crossed over the path or the chunk of woods I was in, and then it was about 10:30. He was coming out. About 11:30, I saw a guy just walking in the middle of the field. He had somewhere to go, and I think maybe I saw about 10 people in various areas. So about 11, it was about 12:30, it was about 1 o'clock. I got up and I went to edge of the pines, the middle wood. The wind was blowing steady out of the west. That's the prevailing wind. So I walked in there completely expecting to jump up on somebody, and again my anxiety was, but I posted there, and about an hour after I was there, about the time I was getting up heading that way, I heard a shot. It was kind of close, and by close it was within a quarter mile, half mile. And after I got set up where I was, which is probably about an hour and a half, it was like 2 o'clock, I saw a guy dragging a small 6-pointer out of the woods through the field. He was struggling, but it had warmed up. Right now it's 58 degrees, but it's a windy 58. So, see how that takes. Let's see. I miss hunting private land. I really miss it. I miss knowing that I'm not going to bust anybody. I know where my paths are. I know where my setups are. I know the deer pattern. The place I was hunting for, however many years we hunted it, I knew I was going to see deer. If I saw deer in one position, I knew what the pattern was. I knew, and it was every 3 days they were cycling through. The same group of doe. So that was easy. It was almost too easy, but I put a lot of effort, I put a lot of energy and time into getting to that point. I mapped it out for everybody. And I don't think I think I'm the only one that killed any. I think I'm the only one that ever killed a deer off of that property. And I killed a dozen. I hunted the shit out of that place. I hunted it hard. But I also set it up hard. I cut lanes. I treated it as a deer management type scenario. And then got a buddy of mine on board, and he was going out with me late this season before we lost it. And then right before we were getting ready to go plant some pumpkins and do some tilling and, you know, clean up and do some more lanes. Or no, we were talking about it for the next season. We were going to hunt it hard. Lost it. Just like that. But I mean, it happens. I'm not bitter. It's just, it's unfortunate. That's why I want land. I want 50 acres somewhere that I can just go and have different weather scenarios, different season patterns, and different layouts. And I want to invite people to come hunt my property. I miss hunting with somebody. And I mean, hunting with somebody, having a hunting buddy, no matter their skill set, their level, or their intensity, builds enthusiasm. You build off of each other. You kind of keep, you know, I would have, if I had a buddy, I would have gotten up at 4 o'clock in the morning, and I would have been out today. I would have gone out yesterday and left the woods at 11 to make it to my tattoo appointment at 2. I would have hit it that hard. There's something about that camaraderie, or that, you know, that involvement, that fellowship involved with setting up and planning and talking about things. And, you know, I enjoy being alone. I want to find somebody who I can just disappear with. But if I had property, like the place out in Highland County that I was just talking about, if, you know, we were getting ready, I parked my truck there, and I'd spend, you know, the weekend or a couple weeks, or there was a couple times I'd leave work 3 o'clock, leave Florence, Kentucky, drive out to fucking Hillsboro, hunt for an hour because that's all the light that I had, go warm up some ramen noodles in the bed of my truck, roll up in a sleeping bag, get up at 3 o'clock in the morning, covered in frost and snow. I really didn't drink coffee at the time. There was no energy drink. It was just, I had amphetamines. But, you know, I'd get up, eat some more ramen noodles, a bologna sandwich, and I'd walk 300 feet into the woods, sit in a tree, kill a deer, drag it out to the truck, call it in, and then eat a bologna sandwich, go back out, go down to another chunk of the property, shoot another deer. I did that a lot alone, though. But that was different because I had, I don't know, I don't say I was embroiled in the lifestyle, but it was more part of my life, and I was doing the property management as a property management. And it was easy to do. It was easy. I could go, if I had property that I could drive to, and it only took me an hour to drive to, I'd drive to it. I'd drive 4 o'clock in the morning. Because I know where I would be going. My day would be planned. Right now, I'm just winging it. I don't even know where I'm going to park. With the wind, if the wind is shifted coming out of the south, I'm going to go to the 73 side, north side of Carytown Road, or Powell Road, and I'm going to hunt that. So I haven't seen anybody there. I saw people in the back pull off, but I want property. I want 30 acres. I want 30 to 50 acres. I don't want something that is so big and so unmanageable. I want to be able to go spend a weekend, park the camper, or even build a cabin. I don't want a place that I have to mow. I don't want a place that I have to maintain unless unless we plan on building a house there eventually, which is not off the table. I don't want a bunch of hills because honestly, deer don't like hills. I wouldn't mind, having something that I could just take a tiller out there, get a four-wheeler, trailer it out there for a couple days, do some tilling, leave it out there. That's the problem. I don't want to build a barn or whatever unless I get in with a neighbor that I can, for security or whatever. I don't know. I know what I want, and I feel embarrassed for it, or not embarrassed, but I'm reluctant to pursue it because I don't know. It feels selfish. But I've wanted it for ever. I don't have much left. I don't have much time left to enjoy things. And it's going to take the next 5 years to be able to enjoy it. And that cuts into close to 25% of whatever time I got left. Maybe I'm just destined to spend the rest of my life wishing things were different. But today it's windy. Like I said, it's 50. Car says 57. It was supposed to get up to 62. I don't know if it has gotten there or if it's going to get there. I'm heading to Fallsville Wildlife Area, which is my normal Tuesday. Hunted late morning, afternoon. I see shit. I saw one giant buck on the property, but it was while I was driving. And there was no way to figure out his pattern. No, that's another thing. If I had my own place, I could pattern deer. I could make it. Deer hunting is more than just going in the woods and sitting down and hoping that something walks by. That's, part of it. But, if you're mobile enough and you have the resources, doing that by yourself, it's not even worth the wait. It's such a chore. But if I had somebody that I was going in blind somewhere with maps and aerial footages and weather apps and things like that, you can map out and figure out how a deer is going to be using a specific area. And you go through and you have a plan. You execute that plan, and 4 times out of 10 it works. But doing all that by yourself, you have like a 10% success rate. And I think I've talked in success rates. I think my chance of success today is probably close to 10%. there's several factors involved. I'm getting out later than I really wanted to. The weather is playing a part in that, and part of it is just my own brain. I'm not feeling it. It's not that I don't want to go. I want to. It's just not the right. I don't know. I don't have the right drive. I have the desire. I have the, I want it to all fit. I want it to all work. I want to be out there. I do, but it's like something's missing. And I don't want to keep saying that something is, I want my own property. I do want that. I really do. Or I want some property. I could lease some property. I just don't want to spend $25,000 or $8,000 for land 4 months out of the year that I may or may not be able to get to. If we owned 30 acres, it's only $100,000, $110,000 maybe. I mean, I don't want to say only, but it's not millions of dollars. It's not the end of the world. It is sellable. The properties that I was looking at, I could get 35 to 40 acres for $80,000 to $150,000, depending on the area and the layout. The layout that I want is kind of like what was in Highland County. I really, really liked that area. It was an hour and 20 minutes from 10 minutes up the street from where I am now. So it's about an hour and 20 minutes away. It was easy. It was like driving out here to Fallsville. I don't want to drive more than 3 hours. I don't want to go. If you split Ohio, there's a line. I don't want to go more than 2 hours away. I want it to be close enough to where I could make a day of it, but not far enough away to where I have to feel like I need to stay there for days to make it worthwhile. And I want it close enough to, if I want to go till something, or if I got an afternoon, I want to leave work, I'm going to the woods. I could do that. God, dude, I hunted sometimes every day. I was going no less than 3 times a week one season. That was when I was doing estimating. I would show up at 4 o'clock in the morning at work, 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning, Monday morning. I would leave work Monday morning, or I'd leave work at like 2:30, 3 o'clock on Monday, hit the woods, be home by 7, 8 o'clock, whatever. Then I did that Mondays, Wednesdays, and Friday. Friday I would go do the same thing, but I would stay Saturday. Sometimes I would stay Saturday night. And I was killing the shit out of deer. I think that year we had I think Highland County was a limit of 4. I think Highland County was a 4 deer limit. And I kept out a tag, and the people who weren't hunting, they tagged the deer. So I killed like 12 deer that year. All legal, all, they called it, or I called them, and they would call it in, use their tag number. And I'd give them the back straps, and I had a refrigerator and a freezer in my garage, plus the freezer in the house was full of meat. It was a good time. It got to the point where I didn't even want to smell deer anymore. Around this time, after gun season, I was like, I'm done. I was limited out. So realistically, you're only looking at maybe hunting 20 times a year. Physically going out and conducting the act 20 times a year. That's it. There's a lot of prep work involved. There's a lot of planning and land sculpting and preparation, but for the most part, it's just run and gun 20 days a year. So far this year, I've gone 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, maybe 8 times. That includes the 2 weeks that I've taken off to do this. I used to call them, sits. So I would sit probably 35, 40 times. If you consider, going out in the morning, because you can go, when you have your own property, you pattern the deer. I don't want to say I don't hunt afternoons. I've killed deer in the middle of the afternoon. I've killed deer at first light. I've killed deer when right at the edge of, you couldn't tell what color they were. So there's, it depends. It all changes. But I want a place that I can do that. I want that feedback. I want that brain work. I want that challenge. I want that setup. I want to be able to do that. I want to set up a camp. I want to set up lanes. I want to bring people out. Not like have big deer parties, but if I had 30 acres, I could bring out 2 or 3 guys, people, whatever. Have camp, make dinner Sunday night, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, just kind of disappear, play cards, stuff that I don't have a lot of time to do. I mean, I only have a few of those encounters left in me. And I use it in the summer too. Build trails, get out there, get a 4-wheeler, go out there, just wrap around, get out in the middle of the woods somewhere, just rough camp it, do the super mega bonfires and tent porch type cooking, big old cord and roasts, and dig a hole in the ground and roast a pig for the whole week, take a week's vacation just to go out and fuck off. I don't need to go to the beach. I don't need to go somewhere where I have to work real hard to have a good time. I want to go somewhere that's useful and I can unplug. I can tinker. I need that feedback in my brain kind of stuff. It may happen. I don't know what the cost will be or the situation that'll facilitate it. I imagine it won't be without its own price. But I would even consider dropping everything and going out and being a farmer. It is noon, and there's a half dozen deer just out in the middle of the field, just grazing out. Son of a bitch. I can look at the moon phase. But I could be a farmer, get a couple chickens, some pigs, some goats, a couple donkeys, sell everything, 100 acres, big old farm. I could farm. I could sell stuff. You know, we could buy it outright. We could just pay for it and be done. Not have to work. I wouldn't even mind homesteading. That would be just unplug. Not need any of the stuff. But like I said, it's probably just destined to want. I forgot to pack food. That's another thing. When I have a plan, I have a cooler full of bologna sandwiches or a ham sandwich. I say bologna, but I did eat a lot of bologna sandwiches. Bologna and salami sandwiches, potted meat food product, Vienna sausages. I get just piles of those, and I'd hard boil eggs. Just eat nothing. I wouldn't have to prepare much of anything. A loaf of bread, some bologna, a couple gallons of mustard. I was set, dude. Pot, skillet. I wouldn't even make eggs. I didn't have to make eggs. I had the hard-boiled eggs. Just eat those. But ramen noodles, I'd make a couple ramens, throw them in a little Tupperware thing. They'd soak up the juice all day. Make beef stew, pour it in there. Fuck, dude. I was living. But life happens. Life took the life out of me. Now I'm afraid I don't know if I'll ever get it back. Oops. I love the outdoors. I love being out. I love tinkering and figuring things out. You know, looking at trees, looking at patterns, looking at the different things, and trying to puzzle it all together to come up with a plan. But the unknown of other people, it annoys me. That's a half hour of nonsense. Alright, so noon on December 2nd, heading to the woods. Hopefully get something today, because I got a busy weekend. And I know what's going to happen. I'm going to get mad at myself in a couple weeks because I didn't put all the effort and time that I needed to into it. And honestly, if I do kill something today, if that 10% does pay off, it'll be the same. But I'm here, in it to win it. Sometimes you got to see it through, my boy. You got to see it through. And I want to cook on my new griddle. I got so many ideas. That's another thing. I get these ideas. I wanted to take that griddle camping because, you know, you can make everything on the griddle. Biscuits, do breakfast, pancakes, bake a cake on a fucking griddle. Dude, God, you can do everything. But hauling that son of a bitch. That's what I want to do. I want to go out. I want to cook out in the woods. I want to cook outside. I want a big, giant commercial kitchen outside. I want to make fucking hash browns and eggs, and I want to do fucking Waffle House. I want to cook for a pile of people. Yeah, it's fun and interesting. It's easier on a griddle because you can do it all at once. There's no pots and pans and different things. You know, you got your cooking accessories and utensils, but those are easy to manage. I think camp cooking is difficult because of all the different things that I want to make. God, I get so many ideas. I just want to unplug and disappear. I'm okay with convenience, but I also want simplicity. I mean, I'm contentment and simplicity. Did I say contentment? Not contempt. Be comfortable. I don't know how to be comfortable. New Vienna. Alright, I'll probably stop and get a snack because I forgot to pack a snack. But I'll be in the woods in a half hour. I mean, like, in the woods. I don't plan on walking more than a quarter mile. Dude's rocking a skullet. And if the wind has shifted the way the app said it is, then I'm going to be hunting close to 73. We'll see how it works. Alright. Fuck off. I got shit to do.